I thought I was going to do the introduction with a burp. Turns out I'm not. Anyways, we are in a new city. I did not mean to do that. For some reason, I am of the habit that the X button is the talk button. But I am wrong. Ooh. I forgot about this. And I am desperately trying to remember how it goes. But do you remember back in the beginning of the game? All the way back over there? And the jackal? And the king? And the woman who was saying that there's a man looking for a princess? I forgot what I originally called the princess all that many episodes ago, so let's call her Prissy Bitch. Princess Prissy Bitch. Though she is getting less and less prissy. No. Okay. Nothing but despair, okay. Nothing but despair, whatever. Cornmeal for making bread. You know, I must confess, I am a big fan of cornbread. And yet, when it comes to actual cornbread, I don't think I have ever attempted to make it myself. I've made corn muffins. I've made corn cakes, not really cakes per, like, obviously not something like a cupcake or a birthday cake. More like a pancake. But I've made those, but I've never actually made cornbread. And I mean, I've baked other types of bread. Usually with success, so I did have a couple of disappointments. Not necessarily failures per se, but disappointments. And yes, I do bake. I used to be a biker. I am over 6 feet tall. I have a bushy... What did that last say? Oh, I guess she doesn't say it again. I have a... about shoulder length hair. Apparently, people at my new job think my beard needs to be shaven off, and I did, well, they don't think it needs to be shaven off, it's just, I can't see your face over the beard. And yes, I do bake. And in regards to me baking violating some sort of precious man code, you know what I say to that? Fuck the man code. I follow my own rules, not the rules of being some sort of manly man. If me baking cakes and pies and what have you makes me less of a man, then fuck it, laugh at me for all I care. I no longer give a damn. So screw you if you think I'm a joke for being a decent... Actually, I am a pretty good baker, too. I can bake, cookies, pies, brownies, cakes, usually cupcakes because baking an actual decent-sized cake is, like, the actual process itself is easy, but making it look good is not. And even usually when I cook for myself or bake for myself or whatever, I don't give a damn about how it looks. But I tend to like to share my baking with, you know, close friends and family. And they tend to get a little... Offended's not really the right word, but, unappreciative. If the... Oh. Alright, never mind, but they tend to get a little unappreciative if it's not prim and proper. And like, here's the thing, when I bake, I don't just... Or bake something like a cake or a cupcake or something that requires some form of icing. I make my own icing from scratch. If I'm gonna do something like baking, I'm gonna do it right. I'm not gonna half-ass it. Like, I want to get it done correctly, and first off, I hate making my own icing. Well, I guess it depends on the icing, but, like, any icing sugar is a bitch to work with because it's just... It's not so much that it gets everywhere, it's that it stays everywhere. Like, it makes an obvious, visible mess. Don't record, I can save. Actually, you know, always going to record just in case I have a corrupted save file, but if I have a corrupted save file, I don't think I can get the save off the actual in-game save anyways, but anyways, like, icing sugar is messy to work with, and I hate it. And, you know, with something like a cupcake, if it's a little, you know, cupcakes, the only real thing about making it pretty is making sure the icing is on decently, and I mean, that takes its sweet time for me because my artistic ability is more in writing and not in anything graphical like that. So I have to take my time trying to get it to look good on a cupcake. But it's not that difficult to do for me. It's just, you know, it takes a while. With a cake, It's... Okay, what did I miss? What did I miss? Fuck me, what did I miss? Anyways, it was a cake you have to shape the cake to make it look pretty. Which means you have to at least cut a thin, well, relatively speaking, thin portion of the top layer. And then whenever someone requests me to bake a cake for them, they always want a multi-layered cake, which is just something I refuse to do anymore, so fuck it. But with a multi-layer cake, you have to cut multiple layers and then make sure the icing is even between layers and put it on top. There's a lot of effort and cutting of good cake, which to me is a waste of cake. As in a lot of icing, which requires a lot of making icing, which is a pain in the ass for me. But I do it because I want to do it done right, so there's some things I just don't. There are some things I just don't like doing because I want to get it done right. Well, at least when it comes to other people. For myself, I don't care if it looks pretty, I just care if it tastes delicious. Like, that's it. I will never be a professional baker, chef, cook at all. Because, well, for one, I really don't very rarely like cooking for other people. I like cooking for myself, and if somebody wants to eat what I'm eating, I guess I'll cook extra for them, and they usually tend to enjoy it. But I have an odd palate, and I like simple but bold flavors, so I tend to use a lot of certain types of spices. This is when I'm cooking, not when I'm baking, obviously. And me cooking for strangers, or they're gonna want it done their way and not my way, I get so fed up, like, I'd snap. Hell, I usually snap when someone wants me to bake for them anyways, like, one of the most, well, actually, no, not at all. This is a definite thing. One of the most popular things I get requested to bake are apple pies. Now, I will do it for select people, but I am of the opinion that the apple is so perfect in its natural, or near perfect in its natural state. Excuse me, but that felt good. That actually baking an apple ruins the apple. So, I don't like to do it. I will do it for very select people, and only if they convince me to. It's not a, can you bake me an apple pie? Yeah, it's a, can you bake me an apple pie? Why would I want to? And then it's kind of a negotiation. And well, negotiation's the wrong word because that means I get something in return, but more of a, them convincing me to ruin a perfectly good apple by baking it. And then it's also a matter
what I do, what's I need?
like, cause I don't really, like, I will eat apple pie if it's given to me. But I really... Do I have any red jewels? No, okay, I thought so. But I really don't enjoy apple pie. I don't enjoy apple crumble. There's... Like, the only thing when it comes to apples I enjoy, which is not an apple in its natural state, apple juice, and apple cider. So those are the only things I can think of off the top of my head, and it doesn't even have to be alcoholic apple cider. In fact, when it comes to apple cider, I prefer it to be non-alcoholic. I don't know why, but I find the flavor of apple cider without the alcohol just tastes better than alcoholic apple cider. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just a comfort thing for me because apple cider is something my family would have on special occasions when we were young, like Thanksgiving, Christmas, what have you. And since we didn't drink alcohol or caffeine because we were an overglorified, oversized cult, obviously we had non-alcoholic apple cider now. I was a kid back then, so I wouldn't have been allowed to have the alcoholic apple cider anyways, but I grew up on plain Jane apple cider. I like plain Jane apple cider. I prefer plain Jane apple cider to the alcoholic apple cider, and I don't know specifically why. And we're back to the market, okay. I don't know why. I also don't know where it is I need to go, though the person did, ooh. Oh. How dare I have respect for the law? But anyways, like, there is apple cider. I do... Quit Watermia Mountain Temple. I've been rambling for close to 20 minutes. I am going to end it here. Take care, everybody, and bye.